morning sa inyo. I hope you are having a great Thursday morning. Right? So, by the way, my name is Miss Colleen May Rubizo. So, currently, ako po ang junior high school guidance pa din. And also, I took advisory class in grade 12, which is 12 Zechariah. So, STEM strand po siya. So, ayan po.
Thank you po, Miss Colleen. So, can we proceed na po sa first question po?
Yes, please.
Sige po. So, the first question po is, what role do you think schools and youth communities should play in promoting a healthier mental health environment?
Alright, so very important and timely yung question na to. So ano ba ang role ng schools and youth communities no in providing or promoting a healthier mental health environment? So syempre as a school no, as an educational institution, we are the second home ng mga bata. So even us, kahit na kami ay hindi talaga on hand na nakakasalamuhan ng mga bata, dahil usually teachers talaga. But through us and the administration din ng schools, no, we provide mental health services, no. So we keep in touch sa mga nangyayari sa mga bata, and we provide specific programs and homeroom guidance activities that will help them, no, to assist them sa kanilang school or pag-aaral. So ano nga ba din ang role ng mga youth communities? Very wide yung youth communities. In school, kung school-based kasi yung pag-uusapan, we have peer group. Usually, ang peer group kasi, or peer mentoring or mentorship, in some universities, meron na kasi doon. But I am glad to share with you na we are working with that, na hopefully magkaroon tayo ng peer mentoring or peer group within UCC, which helps din na mag-promote tayo, no? So magkaroon tayo ng parang small community which starts na sa mga classrooms, no? Na magkakaroon tayo ng mga designated na mga mentors, which is students din yun, and they have this specific fellow student din na magiging kaagapay ng mga kapwa estudyante din nila or classmates nila. And from that, pwede silang magbuo ng group or group discussions or parang small counseling sessions, no? And from that, we could help din, no? Na magkaroon din kami ng connections thoroughly, no? Sa mga bata. Kasi nga, syempre, nandito kami sa office, so sila mas on hand po sila. So yun, with that, no, magkakaroon tayo ng large group ng pag-promote or tawag dito, kumbaga, kamay to touch lives, no? And kung kamusta na ba sila sa araw-araw ng pag-school, and not just pag-school, no? Pwede din nating matulungan sila with their family or kumbaga personal problems. So, ganun. So, it starts, syempre, no, with the small group muna hanggang sa magkaroon tayo ng network. So, ang role ng schools and youth communities would be maging safe space din. So, and also, dahil tayo ay educational institution, sabi ko nga, second home nating mga students, no? We play a vital role as a mentor. Siguro, yun yung specific na role talaga, no? Mentorship.
Yes po, and we the students po and other ambassadors are really grateful po na meron po kaming guidance na we can go po whenever everything feels heavy po. So, yun po. And for number 2 po, what are some healthy ways po students can manage stress without negatively affecting their mental health naman po?
So, healthy ways, no, na students can manage stress. Okay, so, ang stress kasi, pag sinabi natin stress, usually talaga associated siya sa mga triggers. So, it could be a person, a thing, a place, or maybe situation, no. Usually, ang stress nag-occur siya if overwhelming yung, kumbaga, yung factor na doon siya exposed, no. Well, I think the most possible healthy ways na magawa ng students, first is enough sleep, no. Medyo physiological muna tayo, enough sleep, at least try natin kahit sa weekend bumawi ng tulog talaga, no? Kasi it could efficiently restart yung brain function natin, and the way we get set back ulit, no, dun sa mga dapat nating gawin. Second would be the support system na nanggagaling sa friends, yung mga tinatawag natin na COF or circle of friends. So with the help of support system, no, they have this certain network na within their group na if they try to uplift one another and they try to help one another, mas mamamanage nila yung mga situation or bagay or yung mga task na need nilang i-accomplish. Try to read books din, no? Books na not just part of your leisure time or kung mahilig ka magbasa ng libro, but read books na or articles na about sa mental health, no? Kung ano yung magiging applicable for you. Kasi every one of us, we have our own coping mechanism and we have our own stress management ways. So pwedeng, for example, ako personally, no, I manage stress by also reading. And maybe I go to cafes. And siguro sa inyo, iba din yung coping mechanism nyo ng stress. So iba-iba tayo. But through reading articles or books, you can maximize yung scope ng learning niyo and understanding nyo kung ano ba yung mas makakabuti sa akin para mas ma-manage ko yung stress, mas ma-overcome ko yung overwhelming feeling na meron ako. So yun po.
So yun. And yes po, that's right po. Now we have different ways po in managing our stress po kasi in different people po, we have different coping mechanisms po. So ayun. So for number 3 po, how can teachers recognize when a student may be struggling po with their mental health without making the student feel judged or embarrassed?
Okay, very relatable yung number 3, no. As I said earlier, nung pinakilala ko yung sarili ko, it was my first time na took ng advisory class and then grade 12 pa. So we all know naman na grade 12 is medyo bombarded sa activities. Of course, grade 11 din and other grade levels. But yung pressure kasi dahil graduating sila, no. So ayun, connecting with that. Anyway, we have SEL. We all know naman kung ano yung SEL, which is yung social emotional learning.
Yes.
So ayun, ang mga students kasi, no, some of our students, they are really good in doing academics, no, and even the performance task din. So makita ko sila sa classroom or makita ng mga teachers na they are active, but behind meron na pala silang pinagdadaanan. I think the safest way, no, para malaman ng teacher na merong struggle si student would be the help of journal writing. I did journal writing on the first week ng siguro student orientation yun. I did collected journals from my students, no. Dun ko pinasulat yung mga bata ng how are they. So yun, through writing kasi mas merong freedom, no? May freedom sila na ma-express yung nararamdaman nila, yung struggles nila, or whatever, kung gusto man lang nila magkwento, no? And also kasi, ano din kasi yun, privacy or private. Pag nagpasa sila ng journal sa akin, ako lang din yung makakabasa. Or kung may teacher man na ganun din yung tactic niya, so siya lang din yung makakabasa. So I think that is good, no? Isa yun sa efficient way to recognize the student. And also din kasi, kung hindi din naman malalaman or ma-figure out na merong something din sa journal, pwede din sa academic performance, if ever na merong teacher na lumapit, di ba? Merong teacher na lumapit sa advisor or kapwa teacher din na si ganito, ganyan, parang hindi na siya ganun kamasayahin, ka-active mag-recite. So dun pala, kasi meron naman tayong non-verbal cues no? No matter what, kahit gaano kagaling magtago ng nararamdaman yung estudyante, mamamanifest pa din niya through non-verbal cues. So pwedeng ganun din, no? But minsan kasi, yung mga non-verbal cues, confusing din siya. So I think the best way would be
Writing with their emotions.
yes, writing or magkaroon ng open forum din, pwede din if possible yun, open forum. And siguro we have Google Classroom naman, right? Ano naman siya sa all levels. So pwede magkaroon doon ng exercises or activities, no, to know kung kamusta na sila. So ayun, safe din yun and may privacy din. So yun po.
Yes po, and I think one of the best way po is to write down their emotions po kasi there are students po talaga that who are afraid po to tell their emotions verbally. So ayun po. So for question number 4 po, Kyla, can you read it? Kasi I think nako-cover na rin naman po natin lahat and we don't have to finish po all of the 8 questions. So we'll go with the number 4 and the number 5 na lang po. So Kyla, can you read the question number 4?
If you notice that a friend or family member has become unusually quiet or tired, what is the first thing you should say to make them feel safe and comfortable enough to talk to you?
Medyo challenging yung number 4. If you notice that a friend or family member. Okay, well, depende to. It's a case-to-case basis kung ano yung personality ni friend or ni family member. Kasi no matter what we do, even if we try to reach out, if this person will not talk with you, or simply yung parang catch up lang, hindi sila talaga magiging open or magiging talkative towards how they feel, no? What I do, no, kailan pa ako naging counselor myself, no, or associate myself, way back 2022. So, siguro ang una kong na-practice na kumbaga way or strategy para makausap ko na maayos, no, yung isang tao, either yung friend or family member, I would start with simple topic muna. For example, kamusta yung week mo, kamusta ka na, in a way na yung scope is na yung araw lang. So yan. Or you talk with them about a random thing, and then dun muna parang you will get your signal na okay, parang umaano na siya sa tinatanong ko, sasagot naman siya. So unti-unti natin hanggang sa ayun, parang you go on the direction na matap mo na yung parang struggle pala niya, yung gusto niyang ikwento, no? So ayun, yun yung strategy ko, no? Siguro start with a small talk, no, have a topic. Pwede mo siyang kamustahin na ang scope lang, for example, ay within today, kamusta siya today, or kamusta siya this week, ganyan. So, ayun. But again, case-to-case basis, meron kasi mga tao din na mahirap din talagang, kumaga, hindi siya madadaan sa isang usapan. So, ayun, kailangan merong consistency, no? Magkaroon ng consistent talking. So, yun lang po. Kasi building rapport, very, very crucial yan, no? Earning trust na talagang ma-feel natin sa tao na safe tayo. Yun po.
So for you po, it's a case-to-case basis po, no? And it depends po dun sa personality po ng tao kasi there are people po na afraid po and there are people naman po na they are just waiting po na may mag-reach out sa kanila and then they're ready to tell na po their emotions.
Yes. And yung pinakamahirap din kasi, if na feel or merong thought si friend, si family member, or anyone else na yung fear niya na baka hindi siya maintindihan, no?
Yes.
Or ayun, yun talaga hindi siya maintindihan, na hindi ma-validate yung nararamdaman niya. So, ayun, di ba? Minsan yung makikita natin na, or sinasabi ng iba, okay lang naman ako, ganyan. Hindi, okay lang naman ako ngayon, or pagod lang, or gusto lang ng quiet time, or alone time, no? May mga ganun kasi na, ayaw ko nang dilipas din. May mga ganun kasing times na nililipas dito. Okay din ako.
Yung iba po is ubos lang din po yung social battery nila pero they are really okay inside naman po.
Yes, that is very true. Totoo yun. No? Minsan nakakatakot din na yung sa part na tayo yung mga ngamusta, na baka may assumption lang din natin na meron siyang problem. Kahit na either we don't know if meron nga ba talaga or yun nga, ubos lang ba yung social battery.
And ayaw naman po makapag-usap.
Yes, exactly. Actually, common to sa relationships. May time may ganun na, you know, baka may assumption lang tayo and then sa kanila naman wala. Sa friendship, ganun din, no? But again, with good communication, if open din naman to express each other's feelings, mas malalagay ng maayos yung intention talaga. No? Ikaw na, yung intention mo ay mga musta lang, no? You just want to check in kung okay ba talaga siya, no? So, yun. And then the other person would, okay, sige, no? Thank you, I appreciate that, ganyan, no? So, kung wala naman siyang nararamdaman, okay, kung meron, you can give it to friend. Earn the trust, yes.
Ayun. Sa fifth question po, this will be the last na po, no? Kasi nako-cover naman po natin lahat, even we don't go with the 6 to 8 po. So, ayun, Kyla, can you read it?
How can we help students become more open about their mental health and feel comfortable seeking help without fear of being judged by others?
Okay. So, bigyan ko lang kayo ng konting background, no? Dito sa Philippines, I think you have heard already our Philippine Mental Health Act, which is na-sign siya last 2018. Yun ay time ni President Duterte pa, no? And ang principal author po dito ay si Senator Risa Hontiveros alongside with other senators tulad din na Senator Tito Soto, ayan, Loren Legarda, ayan po, ano? So, to be aware lang, no? Mas pinaigting or mas pinromote ng maayos talaga yung accessibility natin with the kung paano ba, no? Paano ba i-treat, paano ba bigyan halaga yung mental health. This is for everyone, no? So, magkaroon ng access sa mga health facilities na mag-improve din sila para at least, no, if ever na someone who needs help din, regarding to their mental health is maayos siya na maagapan, mabilis siyang maagapan and matulungan. So dito, sa ating school naman, ever since naman po ang Guidance and Counseling Office, which is way back, ang tawag sa Guidance and Counseling Office natin ay Guidance and Wellness Center. No? Matagal na tayong nag-promote talaga ng fight against mental health issues. Ayun, yun po. Okay, so ngayon, syempre as time goes by, tayo ay sumasabay din no, sa kung ano yung nagiging demand ng mga students natin. No? Ano ba ang prevalent issues ng mga estudyante? So, lagi tayong solution focus. Hopefully din naman nagiging effective and efficient din. No? So, how can we really truly help? Siguro ito, I would say, sa guidance muna, no? On behalf of our office, we are really trying to extend our hearts and stretch out pa yung aming arms sa inyo. So, we have in total of siguro mga nasa 3K o 4K na tayo dito sa UCC. Something like that, no? Yung range nun. So, syempre, ang pinakamalaming population ay sa inyo, mga senior high. So, ang pinaka-core namin will be our service and yung mga programs and activities namin to all of you. Yung mga homeroom guidance activities, yung mga sinasagutan po ninyo na paper and pen pa, minsan naka-form pa, Google Form, no? So, yon ay way na namin na to reach out to all of you. Kasi po, syempre, sa sobrang dami nyo din, no? We are trying to do something din para mas ma-stretch out pa yung range ng tulong namin sa inyo. So, ayun na. We build rapport to them. Yung rapport is earning trust na mabago namin yung stigma na kapag guidance and counseling office, pumupunta lang sila kapag may ginawa sila. Yes,
May problem po.
yes. Yun, usually pag may case or yun nga, may nangyari, no? So we are trying to break that stigma, no?
Actually po, isa po yun sa misinterpret po ng mga new students na when we say guidance po, they think po na may kaso po sila and sinabi po namin na sa discipline po yun kasi yung guidance po is more on about SEL po or the social emotional learning po and ayun po, tama po yung sinabi niyo.
Yes, ayun. Actually, ang tagal na ng stigma na ganun. And gusto namin talaga mabago yun. Kasi we are trying to change din yung, tawag ito yung parang tingin nila sa amin, matakot sila, ganyan.
Yes po.
Ayun. So, actually yun din. Parang nagiging pangalawang teachers din kami, no, aside sa inyong mga teachers sa classroom. If ever na merong problem na minsan nga hindi alam ni advisor, minsan lang face-to-face basis pa din to ha. So, mas nalalaman pa namin, ganyan. Ipapangako namin sa inyong mga estudyante, no, on behalf of guidance, no, we really uphold yung confidentiality. If someone is confiding, if someone is trying to open up herself or himself sa amin, we try to keep it sa amin lang. So whatever na mangyari or whatever na masabi nila will stay in the four corners of our counseling room. And I think that will help them na mawala yung feeling nila na matakot, na feeling nila ma-judge, na feeling nila na mali yung nararamdaman nila or naisip nila, ganun. Kasi dito sa guidance office, we cater everyone. And walang specific ground for us to say na mali yung iniisip ng batang to or tama yung iniisip ng batang na ito. So we are open, we are diverse naman to everyone, we are flexible. And dito, hindi ka namin i-judge. Kasi we are not, hindi kami judger. Diba? So iwas kami doon. And we are also careful with our words din.
Kasi po, sometimes the biggest problem po isn't the student po. They're just afraid of what other people might think about them po.
Medyo long term na nagiging issue, hindi naman issue, or usually may pattern na kaming na-observe sa ganyan. But I hope no, through activities namin, no, through promotion sa aming page din, I hope mas dumami nga yung mga estudyante na hindi na matakot, no, na they will open up themselves sa amin. Hindi naman siya, kumbaga pinipilit namin or whatever, but we just want to, we want them to know na andito lang kami. No? Meron kayong makakausap, no? And yes, and active kami sa social media, not just dito lang sa office, but sa Facebook page din namin, open din yun, no? So, yun po. Hopefully, sana ma-break natin yung ganong thinking. Hopefully, ha? Hindi naman din namin nagagawa yung aming obligasyon, aming duties, kundi din dahil sa cooperation po ninyo and collaboration din to promote pa yung mental health and mas marami pang matulungan tayo, no? Dahil dito sa school, isang community lang naman po tayo. So, yun po.
And we're hoping po na ma-change po yung thinking nila na when we say guidance po, may kaso na po agad sila or may ginawa po silang kasalanan. I hope po na they see guidance as their second home po. And to conclude
Yes.
this podcast po, I just want to say thank you po kasi it's a really we're really grateful po na pumayag po kayo as our guests po.
Sa aming mga UCC, no, students, no, all levels, especially sa mga makikinig din ito, makikinig yan. On behalf of our office, which is Guidance and Counseling Office, we are very happy to serve, no, sa inyong lahat. Again, we are stretching our arms, no, to each one of you. And kahit na maliit lang aming office and kumbaga, you can see us 5 times a week lang, but please know na we are extending our hearts and minds na matulungan din kayo. And yung mga personal battle ninyo, no, lilipas din yan. Do believe na sa bawat problema, merong solusyon. So, you just have to get through some lows in your life, but, you know, dadaanan nyo yan. And bawat pagsubok, merong lesson. I hope we strive hard to be resilient din. Lalo na sa panahon ngayon, there are a lot of factors talaga na nakaka-apekto ng mental health natin, no? Kami din, no? We have our own mental health issue din. Hindi din naman kami perfect. Hindi din kami okay and very healthy, no? In a consistent way. We have our own lows. So, sana ma-promote din natin yung camaraderie na if someone needs help, kahit konting usap lang yan, no, it matters. And lagi nating tandaan na tayo ay mahalaga. Okay? So, yun po.
Thank you so much po, Miss Claudine. And that's all po for our podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thank you po and God
Thank
bless
you
po.
po.